The Knicks are easily one of the most improved teams of 2024 free agency. Acquiring Mikal Bridges of the Brooklyn Nets instantly gave them one of the most talented big threes. But while Mikal was a talent upgrade, the Knicks also suffered a massive loss when Isaiah Hartenstein went to the OKC Thunder. The Knicks still have Mitchell Robinson, who when healthy is one of the best starting centers in the game, but unfortunately, he's incredibly injury prone. Mitch played in just 31 regular season games last year, and he's played in over 70 games just once in his 6-year NBA career. So as good as Mitch is as a player, it's not ideal to bank on him staying healthy. This is why Jericho Sim is the biggest X factor nobody is talking about. If he has a breakout season, he could be a huge difference maker. Throughout his 3 years in the league, Sims has shown some serious flashes, but he's never earned a consistent role in Coach Thibodeau's rotation. Of course, he's been playing behind some really good centers in Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson the past 2 seasons, so minutes haven't been easy for him to come by. With iHeart gone and with how often Mitch gets hurt, this upcoming season will likely be Sims' best opportunity to become a consistent rotation player. The Knicks clearly believe in Sims, which is why they hired former Trailblazers big man Mark Bryant to be an assistant coach on Coach Thibodeau's staff. He's widely viewed as one of the top big man coaches in the game, so he could probably aid in Sims' development. It's also worth mentioning that Sims is going into a contract year, so how he performs this season could make or break him. A really strong start to the year could lead to the Knicks front office giving him an extension, but if he continues to barely play, this could very well be his last year in the NBA. So now let's dive into the film to see what Sims brings to the table and what he needs to improve on to become a good role player for the Knicks next season. Sims really thrives on a defensive end, and one of his best defensive skills is his ability to guard perimeter players and more than hold his own in that matchup. Here in transition, Sims is forced to pick up Mikal Bridges. He tries the crossover, but Sims stays in front. He doesn't go for the pump fake, and Mikal is forced to pivot and give the ball up. He can even defend point guards. Here in transition, he has to pick up Spencer Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie passes it out to Dorian Finney-Smith, then gets it right back for an ISO. But notice how Sims gets low in that defensive stance. He stays with Dinwiddie on the drive. He has to pivot. Then he makes a bad pass, which causes a turnover. Even when matched up against a legit all-star, Sims can shut them down. Here he has to pick up Brandon Ingram. Ingram tries to take Sims to the hole, but once again Sims is able to stay in front. After losing his footing, Ingram tries a turnaround fadeaway, but Sims blocks the shot and the Knicks are off in transition. Along with guarding well on switches, he's also a legit rim protector. He's great at patrolling the paint and providing help defense when someone gets beat on the perimeter, and he can block the shot attempts of driving players. And even when he doesn't get the block, he's good at contesting layups. He knows how to go straight up with 2 hands, which makes it difficult for driving players to finish. And he did a much better job last season at defending without fouling, as his foul rate went down. Sims barely got any minutes last year, but I think he has a unique skill set that's pretty rare. There's not many centers in the NBA that can both guard the perimeter and the paint at a high level. I think he could be one of the top defensive big men if he's able to play more minutes next season. Along with playing good defense, Sims also crashes the glass, especially on the offensive end. Many coaches prefer for their centers to get back on defense, but Coach Tibbs loves for his big men to get offensive boards, and Jericho Sim is very active on the offensive glass. He gets a lot of easy baskets for himself just by putting back shot attempts, and this is where his athleticism allows him to come flying in for some monster putback dunks.
Into it, Burks around and no, but Jericho Sim is there for the emphatic putback.
And even when Sims can't get the putback, the hard work on the offensive glass keeps possessions alive for the Knicks, giving them extra chances to score. He can also make good passes once he gets the board. On this play, Brunson misses the floater, but Jericho Sim is able to get the rebound, and he makes the nice pass to Alec Burks, who drains the open 3. Another positive of Sims' game is his hustle. He's often at the right place at the right time, allowing him to recover loose balls. Here's a perfect example. Dante misses this shot, and Sims out-hustles 2 Pelicans for the loose ball, and then finds Precious Achiuwa for the push shot. Hustle plays like this don't always show up in the stat sheet, but they often make the difference between winning and losing. On offense, Sims doesn't get many touches. His role is mainly to sit in the dunker spot and wait for catch and finish opportunities. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle both attack the basket a lot, which tends to draw multiple defenders in the paint and create assist opportunities. Sims times his cuts really well off his teammates' drives, allowing him to get set up for easy finishes. Those insane hops of his makes him an excellent lob target, where as long as the ball is thrown high in the air, he'll catch it. And that ability to finish at a high level makes him a player that could score from screening and rolling to the basket. He can also make passes out of the short roll. Here Sims sets the pick for Josh Hart, rolls to the basket, which draws multiple defenders in the paint, and he makes a great decision finding Jalen Brunson on the wing, who drains the open three. Sims has potential to be a great pick and roll weapon, but unfortunately that part of his game will likely continue to be underutilized. The Knicks are a heavy ISO team that barely runs the pick and roll, and even when they do, they don't feed the roll man all that much. Jalen Brunson, who's the primary ball handler, mainly uses pick and rolls to get his own shot. Here's a perfect example. Sims sets the pick for Jalen Brunson, rolls to the basket, and this could easily be a bounce pass to Jericho Sim, and then the only player that would be in his way from scoring would be the 6-foot Chris Paul. But instead, Jalen Brunson tries to finish himself and he misses the layup. Now, despite that missed layup, Jalen Brunson is a great scorer and a rising superstar in this league, and I don't have too many negative things to say about him, but I do think he should look to feed the roll man more. And I think this is a reason why we've seen Mitchell Robinson complain on social media about his lack of touches. But back to Sims, I would like to see him expand his offensive game, and based on recent reports, it looks like that's what he's currently trying to do. He's been working with Mike Bibby this offseason on his offensive skills. The New York Post recently revealed that he was recovering from injury the past 2 years. So this is the first summer in 2 years he can focus on working on his game and not just rehabbing. There's some clips on social media of Sims working on his jump shot and working on turnaround jumpers in the post. This is great, but the question is, how exactly does this translate to the NBA game? I don't expect Sims to become a player the Knicks can ever run offense through in the post. Maybe they will dump the ball to Sims if he has a much smaller player on him, but don't expect Sims to get many post-up opportunities. It's also going to be interesting to see if Sims can make any progress as a shooter. He's barely taken any jumpers throughout his 3 years in the league, and he only shot 66% from the foul line last season. So he simply hasn't been a shooting threat up to this point. I don't expect Sims to become a legit sniper next season, but if he could develop a decent shot from 12 to 15 feet away, that would be great. A solid mid-range jumper would give him more chances to score outside the paint, and this would also open up opportunities for him to put the ball on the deck and drive to the hoop. We've rarely seen it, but there have been some flashes of him making plays off the dribble. I think Sims can improve his offensive game, but I don't expect him to become a player that'll be able to create his own shot at a high level. So it's going to be important that his teammates look to pass him the ball more. If that happens, his points per game can go way up next season. So that's going to be it for this breakdown. As for Sims' full potential, I think his ceiling could be very similar to a player like Nicholas Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets. Claxton has a very similar body type to Sims and also a very similar career trajectory. Like Sims, Claxton was drafted in the second round and he barely even played his first 3 years in the league. It wasn't until the Nets got rid of Jared Allen that Claxton started to play a lot more, and he emerged as one of the top defensive bigs in the league, and he just got a big extension with the Nets in free agency, signing a 4-year, $100 million contract. I think Sims is definitely going to have an opportunity to prove himself, since we know that Mitchell Robinson is unlikely to stay healthy the whole season. So it's going to be up to Sims to prove to Coach Tibbs that he's worthy of a much bigger role. But that's going to be it for me, and now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Jericho Sims? Do you think he could have a breakout season for the Knicks? Let me see your thoughts down below in the comment section. Guys, I'm going to continue to cover the Knicks on this channel, so if that sounds like something that will interest you, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day.